Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anupma Biology Classes. In this plant physiology series, today our topic is osmosis. This video is taken from CBSE class 11th, part 3rd of chapter 12. Let's come to the lecture overview. So in this video, we will focus on what is osmosis, osmotic concentrations, demonstration of osmosis, osmotic pressure, the importance of osmosis in plants, Turgor pressure and the cell as a system. Now, our first topic is osmosis. So here we can see the explanation of osmosis. Osmosis is the most important physical process that brings about the movement of water in living systems as well as in their environments. Osmosis may be defined as it is the net diffusion of water molecules from a dilute solution to the concentrated solution when the two are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane. If the solution is separated from its pure solvent, the molecules of solvent move from pure solvent to the solution. So, when the two solutions having different osmotic concentrations are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane, the molecules of water, it means solvent, move from the region of its higher chemical potential to the region of its lower chemical potential. This movement of water is called osmosis. Now, if we see here explanation of osmosis, so we can define osmosis that basically the osmosis involves diffusion of solvent across a semi-permeable membrane. A pure water has maximum free energy, diffusion pressure and chemical potential. So, when some soluble substance is dissolved into it, the free energy of its water molecules decreases. Likewise, the diffusion pressure and the chemical potential also decreases. Therefore, the free energy, diffusion pressure and the chemical potential of solvent molecules in a solution is always less than those of the pure solvent. Similarly, the free energy, chemical potential and diffusion pressure of the solvent molecules in a dilute solution are always more as compared to the free energy, diffusion pressure and the chemical potential of solvent in a concentrated solution. It is a property of ions or molecules that they move from the region of higher energy level to the region of lower energy level. The water molecules therefore move from the region of more diffusion pressure, chemical potential and free energy to the region of less diffusion pressure, chemical potential or free energy across a semi-permeable membrane in case of osmosis. Now, in osmosis, the water molecules moves from pure solvent to solution, from dilute solution to concentrated solution, from high free energy of water molecules to the low free energy of water molecules, from higher chemical potential to the lower chemical potential, from the higher diffusion pressure of water to the lower diffusion pressure of water. So, this is all about the movement of osmotic water from which region to which in which region. So, there is a tendency for solutions which separated by the such membranes like the semi-permeable membranes to become equal in molecular concentration. In plants, the only solvent involved in the living cells is water. The water can move from the environment into the cell as from the soil into the root cell, or from the one cell to another, or from the cell into the environment by the simple process of osmosis. So, when a plant cell is placed in pure distilled water, the water enters into the cell. The plant cell wall is permeable both to solvent and to solute molecules. The plasma membrane, on the other hand, is differentially permeable. The water molecules enter into the cell sap as a result of simple process of osmosis. This is known as endosmosis, and if the direction of movement is reverse, that is from cell sap to the outside, it is known as exosmosis. Now, Here you can see that a process which is known as reverse osmosis, that means opposite of osmosis. Reverse osmosis is also known as hyperfiltration. It is a technique that allows the removal of water molecules from various contaminants through a semi-permeable membrane. The process requires a driving force via pressure from a pump to push the fluid through the membrane. So, here you can see the difference in normal osmosis and the reverse osmosis. So the main difference between the osmosis and reverse osmosis is that the osmosis is the diffusion of water molecules from high to a low water potential across a semi-permeable membrane, whereas the reverse osmosis is the diffusion of water molecules across a semi-permeable membrane against the potential gradient. So this is all about the osmosis and reverse osmosis. After this, you can see here the osmotic concentrations. You can know it like tonicity. So what is tonicity? Tonicity is the measure of the osmotic pressure gradients of the two solutions separated by a semi-permeable membrane. So, if we talk about the tonicity, it means the osmotic concentrations. There are three types of tonicity that one solution can have relative to another. And these are here hypertonic solutions, hypotonic solutions, and isotonic solutions. So, what is hypertonic, what is hypotonic, and what is isotonic? Now, see here. So these are all about the hypotonic solution, isotonic and hypotonic solution. Hypertonic solution where the solution having a concentration such that it gains water or solvent by osmosis across a semi-permeable membrane from some other specified solution, which you can see in the picture. That in case of hypertonic solution, here it gains water or solvent by osmosis. So second is hypotonic solution. What is hypotonic? In case of hypotonic solution, a solution having a concentration such that it lose water or solvent by osmosis across a semi-permeable membrane to some other specific solutions. And the last is here isotonic solution. In case of isotonic solution, a solution having a concentration such that it neither gains nor loses water by osmosis when separated by a semi-permeable membrane from a specified solution. So, these are all about the hypotonic, isotonic and hypertonic solution, and see here the main differences. In case of isotonic solution, no net movement of water particles. Cell membrane is attached to cell wall. Second is hypertonic solution where the water particles move out of the cell. Cell membrane shrinks and detaches from the cell wall, that is plasmolysis condition. And the last is hypotonic solution where the water particles move into the cell wall contracts osmotic pressure to prevent swelling and lysis. Now, after this, see here the demonstration of osmosis. So if we talk about the demonstration, first one, that is how can we explain osmosis? So see here an experiment to demonstrate the phenomena of osmosis by Thistle funnel method. For this, the requirements are Thistle funnel, goat's bladder membrane, water, thread, salt solution or sugar solution, beaker and stand. Now, here you can see the method of demonstration of osmosis, that is Thistle funnel experiment. So for this, take a Thistle funnel, cover its wide mouth with a goat's bladder membrane and tie it with thread. Now, pour the salt or sugar solution in the inverted funnel till it reaches up to the middle of vertical tube. Dip the inverted funnel in a beaker containing pure water. Fix the vertical tube of the funnel with a stand. Mark the level of solution in the tube. Observe the change in the level after some times. So, if you see the observation and conclusions, the level of solution in the vertical tube starts rising. This shows that the water molecules enter into the Thistle funnel through Gold's bladder. This experiment demonstrates the osmotic movement of water, that is osmosis. So if we explain the Thistle funnel method, the Gold's bladder membrane acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So, osmosis is the phenomena where the water molecules move from pure water to the higher concentration of solution when the two are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane. This movement occurs because the water molecules in the pure water have high free energy as compared to those in a sugar or salt solution. The movement of water occurs from higher free energy level to the lower free energy level. Therefore, in the present experiment, the water molecules move from pure water in the beaker towards the solution in the Thistle funnel by the process of osmosis. So, this is the demonstration of osmosis by the experiment. After this, now see here what is osmotic pressure. So, if you talk about the osmotic pressure of a solution is equivalent to the pressure which must be exerted upon it to prevent the flow of solvent into it across a semi-permeable membrane. In other words, the maximum movement amount of pressure that can be developed in a solution separated from pure water by a semi-permeable membrane is termed osmotic pressure. Now in this picture you can see this is the figure to demonstrate osmotic pressure. So in case of A, pure water is separated from the solution by a semi-permeable membrane in a U-tube. Water moves from A to B. And here in case of second, you can see weight is applied in solution to stop movements of water. The weight and the weight of pan is equal to osmotic pressure. Now, osmotic pressure is usually measured in pascals. The osmotic pressure of a solution largely depends upon the ratio between the number of solute and solvent particles present in a given solution. For example, a molar solution of sucrose has an osmotic pressure of approximately 22.4 atmospheres at 0 degree centigrade. However, a molar solution of sodium chloride has almost twice the osmotic pressure of a molar solution of sucrose. This is because sodium chloride is an electrolyte and dissociates almost completely into sodium and chloride ions, whereas the sucrose or glucose molecules are non-electrolytes and do not dissociate in water. The osmotic pressure of given solution can be calculated by using here the relationship, that is osmotic pressure is, here you can see that is IMRT. So what is pi? Pi here, this is the osmotic pressure. Then I means 1/2 factor, M means molarity of the solution, and R means gas constant, which means 0.08206 liter atmosphere per mole Kelvin. So by this calculation, you can observe and calculate the osmotic pressure. Now, after this, here the importance of osmosis in case of plants. So, what are the importance of osmosis? The phenomena of osmosis is important in the absorption of water by plants. Cell to cell movement of water occurs throughout the plant body due to osmosis. The rigidity of the plant organs, that is shape and form of organ, is maintained through osmosis. Leaves become turgid and expand due to their osmotic pressure. Growing points of the root remain turgid because of osmosis and are thus able to penetrate the soil particles. The resistance of the plants to drought and frost is brought about by the osmotic pressure of their cells. Movement of plants and plant parts, for example, movement of leaflets of the Indian telegraph plant, bursting of many fruits and sporangia, etc., occurs due to osmosis. Opening and closing of stomata is affected by osmosis. So, these are all the importance of osmosis in case of plants. Now, after this, here, what is turgor pressure? In short, you can say TP. Turgor pressure is a unique property of a plant cell that it is surrounded by a rigid cell wall. If a living plant cell is immersed in water, it swells due to absorption of water. As a result of entry of the water into the cell sap, a pressure is developed in the protoplasm which presses against the cell wall. So, the actual pressure exerted by the protoplasm against the cell wall is called the turgor pressure. Here you can see that the pressure exerted by the water inside the cell against the cell wall, which is always less than osmotic pressure unless the cell is in distilled water. Cell wall is rigid and elastic, therefore, it exerts an equal and opposite pressure against the expanding protoplasm. So, this pressure is called wall pressure. At a given time, turgor pressure equals to wall pressure. So, turgor pressure always equal to wall pressure. Now, here you can see that a target cell and a cytoplasm sinks away from the cell wall. Now, after this, cell as a system, which means osmotic relations of the cell. So, you can see here what are the osmotic relations. Now, a typical plant cell may act as an osmometer. If placed in a solution or pure water, the osmotic movement of water under such conditions involve various physical forces such as osmotic pressure, turgor pressure, wall pressure and diffusion pressure deficit. The interrelationship between these forces in a cell is called osmotic relations of the cell. A typical plant cell consists of a cellulose cell wall, which is porous and permeable. The cell wall is elastic and has a tensile strength. The plant cell wall encloses a plasma membrane which is differentially or selectively permeable. Enclosed within the plasma membrane and the cell wall, the typical plant cell consists of a vacuole filled with aqueous cell sap and the cytoplasm. The layer of cytoplasm acts as matrix between the cell wall and vacuole. Now, here you can see a diagram which showing relationship of the osmotic pressure, turgor pressure and wall pressure. If a typical plant cell is placed in pure water, it acts as an osmometer where the cell sap is separated from the external water by means of differentially permeable membrane. The cell wall being permeable causes no hindrance in the movement of water. Now, after this, here you can see that the osmotic relations in three physical states of cells according to their water potential are as follow. So, what are these? At first, in case of fully turgid cell. So, in case of fully turgid cell, the net movement of water into the cell is stopped. Here in this picture, you can see that fully turgid cell structure, last one is. So, the cell is in equilibrium with the water outside. The water potential in such a case will be 0. So, water potential here means osmotic potential plus pressure potential, which means psi W. Water potential is denoted by psi. So, psi W means psi S plus psi P, which means osmotic potential plus pressure potential. So, a cell at full turgor has its osmotic potential and pressure potential equal but opposite in sign. Therefore, its water potential will be 0. Now, if we talk about in case of flaccid cell, In second picture, that means in isotonic condition, you can see that its cell is flaccid. When a plant cell is flaccid, its turgor becomes zero. Zero turgor is approached under natural conditions when a tissue is severely wilted. A cell at zero turgor has an osmotic potential equals to its water potential. So the this is all about in case of the flaccid cell, which is in the isotonic solution, turgidity in case of hypotonic solution, and the last one, that is plasmolyzed, which is in hypertonic solution. So in case of the plasmolyzed cell, when the vacuolated parenchymatous cell are placed in solutions of sufficient strength, the protoplast decreases in volume to such an extent that they shrink away from the cell wall. The cells are plasmolyzed. Such cells have negative value of pressure potential. The resultant water potential will be more negative. So here in this picture you can see that a flaccid cells in case of isotonic solution, plasmolyzed cell in case of hypotonic solution, and the turgid cells in case of hypertonic solutions. So this is the end of video in which we knew about the osmotic concentrations, demonstration of osmosis, and turgor pressure, importance of osmosis in plants, cell as a system. That it means in case of a fully turgid cell, in case of flaccid cell, and in case of plasmolyzed cell. Now, the next here, you know that the plant cells under different osmotic conditions. In here you can see that cell is hypertonic, cell is isotonic, and cell is hypotonic. Now, the next video will be on plasmolysis and imbibition. So if you understand this video, please like and share it and subscribe to my channel Anupma Biology Classes. If you have any queries, any suggestions or any questions, you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you for the watching.